for the disastrous rise of misplaced power exist and will continue to persist. In modern parlance, that sounds like terrorist talk, according to Homeland Security. Watch out for the government. Watch out for tyranny. Watch out for tyranny right around the corner. Why, don't listen to those voices, as President Obama has said. There's no tyranny. Government's good, and it's here to help you. And the foreign offshore banks that run it, oh, they really want to help you like they've done all over the world. And are you noticing what's happening to society? They're really helping everybody, aren't they, right now? Ladies and gentlemen, the Washington Times and others are reporting. Here's the headline: Gun owners beware. D.C. man faces jail for having empty shotgun shell. A SWAT team raid the successful businessman with no criminal record, including misdemeanors, pointed guns at him and his wife, roughed him up, pulled the 16-year-old out of the shower, tore the place apart. He kept his guns at another home outside D.C., but they found a spent shotgun case, shotgun shell, plastic, and they are charging him, and he faces multi-years in jail, at least a 1-year incarceration, and D.C. says they're going to throw the book at him. All because a disgruntled family member dropped a dime on him. That's what tyrannies are like. People make stuff up. And the establishment always responds viciously because they want to encourage the general public to join with the evil. About 80% of countries, nations, empires throughout history are hyper evil. That's a guesstimation, reading so much history. 8 times out of 10, they're really bad. The other 20%, it varies from bad to somewhat free. But most governments are tyrannies, and they just get worse and worse from there until everything collapses. And we are now seeing this unfold here. I mean, the news I've got yesterday, I saw an article up on DrudgeReport.com. It's still red-linked up on Drudge Report. We did some video reports on this last night that are up on Infowars.com. David Knight covered it. National Guard trains to fight anti-government Second Amendment supporters. That's a quote. And they train where the school teachers are conservative gun owners, so they bioweapon the town and start shooting everyone. And they're training as if this is the new scenario. This article, Drudge links to the Media Trackers article. That's a big article. But the original is WSAZ out of Ohio. And then the Examiner says feds identify Second Amendment activists as terrorists. Yeah. And what's really going on is the scripting. This is what re-education camp looks like on a mass scale, where in the dramas, the TV shows, the movies, the cartoons, the bad guys, the child molesters, the meth dealers, the child kidnappers, the torturers, the devil worshipers, the people that are going to blow the school up are all the gun-owning patriots that like George Washington. Literally, if you watch television, you see it. It's just everywhere. Bone-chilling. Now, this was going on secretly under Clinton when we discovered it and got classified secret documents and made national news with it. Now, and I've told you this the last 5 years, it's operational. They've gone public with it. Do you know what that means? They're not doing this behind the scenes, ladies and gentlemen. They're rolling it out in almost every drill now of attacks on shopping malls and attacks on schools. And we've covered this, you know, the AP's covered it, where the homeschoolers in Michigan, all over the state, they call out the elementary kids, blow up a bus or a car that Homeland Security pays for, scare the kids, don't even tell them it's a drill, and then have people in camo come up and say, I'm for homeschooling and the Second Amendment, I'm going to blow your brains out. And the kids get totally traumatized, and the police go, we only know about the ones where the parents freak out and sue. We're sorry, won't do it again. It was a federal grant. I've had the school teachers on, one from Minneapolis, with her lawyer. This was 10 years ago. This is going on under Bush as well. It's a continuity of agenda, where they took them out in one of these drills and said, we're here for the Second Amendment. We're going to kill you because you're anti-Second Amendment. and they lined everybody up, including the teacher. She had to quit her job and had a mental break because for 20 minutes they said, prepare to die, and didn't tell them it was a drill. That was in the local paper. They was like, did it go too far? This is mind control. How many cases you heard where they have the kids at camp, at a public school camp, and they come with a guy with a knife and a gun and go, I'm going to kill you, and teach the kids to hide under the desk or whatever. A lot of times they don't even tell them, or they tell parents, there's going to be a shooting drill. Don't bring your kids, next Thursday if you don't want to be part of it. Well, the parents still stick their kids in it, and it is, I've shown you the news clips, crying little kids with guys in hoods going, I'm for the Second Amendment, I'm going to kill you. I mean, we're talking freak level mind control, ladies and gentlemen. Freak level. And it's going on everywhere, and now it's on the TV everywhere, and it's in sitcoms and dramas and children's shows. Jakari Jackson did a report on it last year, where he shows all these cartoons, Green Lantern, the new Super Friends, all of it, all these shows where the militia's like, wearing tricorner hats going, we believe in America and the right to bear arms. We're going to blow up the dam and kill everybody in the town. This is mind control. They are scripting that we're the terrorist, folks. And let me tell you what they're going to do. If we don't get them off balance and make a big deal out of this, everybody's saying, oh, Obama's done. He's been damaged. He's a dead duck politically. He's a lame duck. No, they're not. This is the most dangerous time in American history, undoubtedly on every front. I've got articles here where when police pull people over who have concealed carry, they are telling them, get out, get on the ground. I want your gun. I want to know where it is. And the guy's like, it's at home. So they blow up on him even more. And it's all on squad car video. And it's happening to concealed carry people all over the country now. With the new police, they're training under federal guidelines that when you got a concealed carry, a lot of times they'll just go ahead and get that gun out right up to your head because you're the terrorist. And they go home and watch all these cop shows and these dramas and movies where the guy that's going to nerve gas New York is an Alex Jones listener. This isn't a game. And they're scripting it so when they blow stuff up and release bioweapons, you name it, blow up dams, you name it, sky's the limit, people will already believe, yeah, they kept saying these guys were going to do it. This is the most obvious frame-up I've ever seen in my life. And through all cultures and all history, it's the same type of people that rise up and take over until the people stand up against them. And let me quantify why I'm making such a big deal out of gun owners being persecuted everywhere, Bloomberg being caught in secret meetings, 50 mayors quitting, more today when they said the plan is to register and confiscate. They're trying to line up the cities, the states, everybody for the criminal takeover. And here's the big news. The military and the police have been trained covertly and directed for war with the American people with the key officer-level cadres for 20-plus years, conservatively. Now they have expanded it down to the lower ranks, have given civil unrest and gun confiscation training to almost all of the armed services at every level, and are accelerating demonization, propaganda, brainwashing, not against just guns, like Holder ordered the media to do. We have that clip of him publicly on C-SPAN saying it. So they have to act in the open like it's no big deal because it's so outrageous. This is a criminal racketeering conspiracy against this free country. This is a foreign banking coup d'etat with a bunch of socialist, communists, and other people who have a real score to settle with Americana, who are going to be the enforcers, literally persecuting the living daylights out of people. And it will become a self-fulfilling prophecy where people have no other choice but to fight back. See, we're then going to be the terrorists. They are lining the country up for civil war directed by the occupied federal government, and they are going operational everywhere, preparing the police and telling them veterans are going to IED your police department and your vehicles. You need armored vehicles. You are going to be attacked by gun owners and veterans and libertarians. You are going to be attacked by the Tea Party. The Pentagon is shifting to its main Northcom directive. It's not stopping cruise missiles coming in off Chinese subs, folks. This is public. It is war with anybody that is half decent. And a lot of you know this is true now. It's all going public. You're deciding to join with the evil, aren't you? Because you're cowards. You'll play along with it when they blow up a sports stadium or a dam or a school or nuke a city and say the Patriots did it. And you'll line up and you'll go out and you'll arrest and hand us over to the mercenaries who'll go kill us. It isn't going to happen like that. People very quickly are not going to just sit there when you come. They're going to go on the offense, which is the best defense. And they're going to roll out, and no amount of hardware is going to help you. I mean, you can't hold Baghdad with 300,000 U.S. troops, 100,000 of them in Baghdad. You think you're going to hold this country? We've already identified you. Everybody already sees you're not cloaked. You're not operating in the dark. You're operating at high noon, and everybody sees it coming down. And my job is to back these people off and to be bold enough to tell it like it is, to be bold enough to be honest, to risk my life so that we have a chance to stop these people. And the least you can do if you work in the system, as a bureaucrat, as a data miner, as a police officer, as a psychologist, as a doctor, as a social worker, as a teacher, as a bureaucrat, as a banker, is start leaking intel to the people, start not complying quietly, and the system counts on compliance. It's basically weak. You empowered it. You've got to speak out against it. You've got to identify friends and people that know what's going on. You've got to start resisting. You've got to create under nom de plumes your own website, your own YouTubes, your own pen names. You can operate publicly, not publicly, but the general public has to look in the mirror and not just blame the bureaucracy. We let this bureaucracy turn into this. You want to know who the problem is? Look in the mirror. As V from Vendetta says, it's the part where he says, I know why you did it. You wanted it to be easy. You wanted to believe everything was okay. You wanted to give your liberty over to somebody else to protect you. But now you know you're a slave. What are you going to do about it? Oh, there are some that are more guilty than others, and they will be dealt with. But if you want to know who's really behind it, look in the mirror. We all have to put in the maximum effort right now. Or I'm telling you, the clock's ticking, folks. They are getting ready to stage false flags and blame it on us. What do you think Boston was? What do you think Sandy Hook was?